So
Okay.
hello everyone, welcome again to Spiritist Group of New York, Spiritism at Noon. We have been studying the book Empty Lives by Joanna de Angelis through Divaldo Franco. And we are talking about the topic that is called appreciation.
Mhm.
Last week, we covered half of this chapter, talking about mostly the material aspects of life, including our physical body, and emphasizing sometimes how much we even take for granted the functioning of our physical body. Like we don't pay attention how our hearts are beating and pumping blood throughout our body, maintaining life, feeding the organs, the cells, the breathing, all of this. We mostly pay attention when something do not go right. And we can say that many times when it doesn't go right is because we are the ones that somehow have jeopardized this, be it in this lifetime or in previous incarnations where we cared even less for our physical bodies. So with this possibility now of understanding better the importance of this physical vessel for us to grow, to evolve, and each and every day that we have of additional life can be a day of so much importance, even when we do not realize that much. Sometimes, you say something and makes such a good impact in the lives of others, and that was a blessed day for other people, and maybe you don't even realize that, but your presence in the world made it possible. So we talked about the miracle of life, and not appreciating as well so much nature. Sometimes we are so worried about our own world, so to say, and focusing on the negativity, that we are not going to appreciate a beautiful sunset or a tree, even a tree, or a field of flowers, or even life, when you go around and you see that the different sizes and shapes and colors and different features. I mean, this is a work of art, and everyone is beautiful. Beautiful is not related to our concept of beautiful. To God, we are all beautiful. We are all his creatures, right? So, and this is a point that she makes when she talks in this last paragraph, those who label the phenomenon of life as such, in terms of thinking that is the work of a chance, merely change the label of the supreme and casual intelligence or cause of intelligence of the cosmos. So we know that according to our views, there is the creator, regardless of the name we want to give to this creator. There is a creator, because so far millennia have passed and no one was capable of doing all the work that we have. Even when they say, oh, I was capable of reproducing a plant. Yes, but you had the seed before. You had the raw material to do whatever was necessary for you to start with a new experiment. But no one was able yet to do the raw material, to produce the raw material. So today we are going to continue and we start reading like we always do. And as always, we love the participation of everyone and with comments and questions. There is a law of cause and effect that accounts for all the interrogations that the mind has worked out. Sorry. God is the generative artist of life. Praise God at all times through virtuous actions and uplifting thoughts. You came from God, and with a broadened sentiment and knowledge, you will return to God. It is certain that you will not always get everything you yearn for, that you will not always reach your goal, that you will not always reap the joys to which you aspire. Even so, do not indulge in an apparently justifiable rebellion. Due to the plan for your future, a plan which you cannot even fathom, there are powerful causes at work for such to have happened. Okay, let's stop here. At this point, Joanna de Angelis brings to us the concept that we have of law of cause and effect. Because this is one thing that can get in the way for us to appreciate what is happening to us, or for us to, to blame everything else, everyone else, and even the creator for the lack of realization of our whims. And she says, no matter what, God is the artist of life. He is the one, God is the one that will always be connected to us. The more we allow ourselves to be connected to God, I may be calling you, but you don't want to answer. You're screening my calls, right? So I think that sometimes we do that with God. We hear the messenger sending us, the good thoughts, the good inspiration, because we ask for inspiration and guidance before taking some decisions in our lives. But deep down, we know what we want, which is not necessarily what is going to be favorable to us. We feel we have all this sensation that we should go the other way around, the other way, and we wind up doing what we want. So we shut ourselves down to God, or to all this assistance that is coming in our way. So we cannot blame God. This is pure law of cause and effect. I wanted to go through a way. I'm going to be receiving what this way has to give to me. Maybe the other one was better, but that was purely my choice. Of course, the more we grow, the more we have this understanding, the more we will be open to the good advices that will come from each and every aspect of our lives. The least we expect, we may come up with someone, you're in the subway, someone is talking next to you to a friend, and you can hear what they're saying, and it's exactly what you needed to hear. So this is divine providence. There was a whole train for you to choose where to sit. You sat there, and all of a sudden, coincidentally, those friends started talking about things that you were in need of hearing. Anyone would like to say something?
Yeah, Yusada, I would like, it reminds me, I don't know if it was you or one of the teachers with examples, as we are like children. If we don't get our way, we complain. We don't understand. Then, but you always say, but because we have Spiritism, we have what has been teaching us throughout years of learning who we are, where we came from, and what are we doing here. So this is what helps us, because sometimes if we don't have our way, we lose our way. I know I've gone through it, and I think through a lot of understanding and going through a lot, you learn. And this is how we progress in life. We go through our challenges. We're here for a reason, some more than others, but we know that. But we have to keep ourselves focused. Like we always say, you got to keep praying, you got to keep studying, you have to understand. And if we don't do this, this is how we get to a point that, we become rebellious and angry at ourselves, our family, even to those that are helping us in the spiritual world. It's like we always say, we have to keep constant work, be indulgent with everything that's going on around us, but not so easy at times. But we have the answers here, how Joanna de Angelis is explaining it to us. Don't despair. We know what's going on, and we are blessed that we know. So with this alone, it puts you on another pedestal, a little more learning, a little more helping others around you, and patient, and all that consists of what we learn here.
And you see, I'm sure we all experience something like that, similar in our lives, where we wanted something so much and it didn't happen. And at the end of the day, along the way, you say, you know what, thank God that didn't happen. It wouldn't be good for me. My choice in this other direction was better. This is where rational faith comes, in the sense of knowing that there is someone taking care of us, and not going to annul our free will. Okay, if we insist, we will go through that road, but there is a plan. We just didn't materialize here in the world because of, the meat of an egg and a sperm. Everything was planned very, very carefully. And the main facts of our lives, those are things that we have chosen to go through them, the good and the bad, because sometimes we complain even of the good ones, right? Okay, let's read a little more. Resist despairing in any situation, especially when you do not know the cause of today's apparent failure. It could become a blessing in the future. In a certain way, you are reaping what you deserve, the result of what you sowed yesterday. At other times, there are compelling reasons for the excellent results to have been postponed because the conditions are not yet right for you to enjoy what you aspire to. So be patient and continue to praise life, which cares for your existence. Lastly, these apparent failures comprise invaluable resources for avoiding bitter situations in the future, which you no longer need to experience. Thus, the negative of now represents a blessing for later. Not infrequently, today's liquor becomes tomorrow's disagreeable, though necessary and useful, vinegar. Similarly, the disenchantment of this present moment will become a delight in your future. So basically what Joanna de Angelis is saying is there is a reason for everything. And even when you are going through challenges, distress, suffering, this can be the solution for or the prevention to avoid even worse cases or worse things happening. I think it's interesting, like this example that she says, the nice wine today may be the vinegar, the bitter vinegar of tomorrow. So maybe we face the vinegar now with the certainty that tomorrow will bring much nicer things, and we will be mature enough to appreciate them. We see, for instance, in the case of children that are in, are prodigious children, right? That play the piano at a very early age, that are great at one sport or another, or music or something like this. And quite often when we see later on, because that happened to them at a very early age and not necessarily having a good home structure and psychological structure to deal with that, they lose their ways because there was no maturity even to appreciate what it means, because everything was so easy to me. So I don't appreciate the struggle, the efforts, the hours that I had to put to accomplish what I'm accomplishing now. And this is where we see, so many youth, losing their ways when they have so much perspective. And the other ones that have to work hard to accomplish perhaps half of what the other ones are accomplishing, later on in life they are more successful because they got into a rhythm of doing things, striving, and then seeing through the day to day. Today I'm struggling, but tomorrow I got a promotion. I got a good grade, and so if I continue apply myself, I even going to graduate sooner, and I'll have more opportunities. So it's built up on efforts, right? When on the opposite, we will see many times, talents being wasted because of that. So that's why they say here, Joanna de Angelis says here, that sometimes it's better to delay certain things in our lives when we will be more capable of dealing with them and appreciating them. Comments, questions? No. Okay. The great Russian writer Leo Tolstoy tells of a dialogue he had with an impoverished peasant on his property when he was a wealthy count. In sum, the peasant sought him out to ask him for financial assistance, expressing his misery. Tolstoy wisely replied, "I will help you financially if you allow me to cut off your right arm." Surprised, the peasant replied, "Sir, money may be very useful, but my right arm is just too important." The master then said, that he would increase the amount if the peasant let him cut off both arms, causing an immediate refusal. Little by little, he increased the amount if the peasant would assent to losing one eye, then both eyes, and again the peasant immediately refused. Finally, the count said to the peasant, "Don't say that you are poor and miserable, because anyone who has assets that he will not exchange or sell for any amount of money is the bearer of a fortune that he must appreciate and every day of his life." Okay, let's stop here. What do you think about?
That's a lot.
Oh my God! It has to be, a philosopher, writer to come up with, this idea, right?
Yeah.
But you see, sometimes it's just through shocking, right? This is a shocking story. Come on, the guys, they are desperate, asking for assistance, for money, going through hunger and everything. And then he says, "Okay, I'll give you money if you give me your hand or your eyes,
Oh my God.
maybe even a little finger." No.
So
No and no. I mean, it's just then that we realize how important they are. Right?
right. Okay.
Okay. It is indispensable to know how to apply the priceless assets with which life honors you. And you just always bless the opportunity to grow and acquire the wisdom of peace. Never become dismayed or downhearted. Learn to transform into success that which you see as a failure only because you did not get what you wanted. Physical life is an incomparable fortune for the spirit in its evolutionary process. And a body, even when deformed or sick, weak or tormented, is a sublime gift from heaven for the glory of immortality. Do not hesitate when you are faced with choosing between short-lived values and those that make up part of eternal life. So appreciate your time and gifts, and if possible, share your joys and your moral and spiritual assets with others who view them with envy or are in need of a bit of love. So now she goes to a point of, again, emphasizing the need for us to appreciate everything that we have in life, understanding that there is a purpose for that, and bearing everything courageously. Okay, it doesn't mean that we will become psychopaths, not having emotions, feelings towards anything. When it hurts. But there is a difference in how acceptance and patience and faith come into place when we are facing the struggles of life. And then she says, pay attention to what you're choosing in life. Are you putting much more effort to accomplish short-lived values, or amass assets that are related to the eternal life, and give it to others, Again, not necessarily through preaching, but through being gentle, nice, tolerant, compassionate, ready to give a helping hand whenever possible. Because all of those actions are only possible if they come out of love. And this love will be felt by the recipient of our assistance. And yesterday I was watching Paul of Tarsus. I don't know if you watched that on Prime TV already. I watched them when it was released on the movies, but I wanted to watch it again yesterday, last night. And oh my God, how hard it was to be Christian at that time. How hard it was to have conviction. They were showing, a lot of people that have never met Jesus. It's not because they lived almost at the same time as Jesus, that most of them knew about him only after he died and he was crucified. And then you see the faith, the conviction, the trade, the life of your family, your loved ones, your life versus just the renegating a truth that you already felt in your heart that was true. My goodness. I said, I don't know. But on the other hand, today, it is hard as well. Constantly, it is offered to us easier ways to go by life. And it requires a lot of commitment and conviction that this is not the right way. And regardless whether it seems the majority are choosing this other way, I'm going to stay in my path. And this is what motivates others to stay on their path as well. So this is a way that not only we will appreciate everything that we have in terms of the physical realm, including our physical bodies, but also what we have already conquered in terms of spiritual maturity. Because otherwise we wouldn't be here week after week, striving to become better, learning lessons that inspire us and enlighten us on how to achieve that. Okay, we finished this chapter. I want to know if you have questions or comments.
When you mentioned about maturity, and she mentioned about the things happen in the right time, maybe you're not mature yet to understand. And I understand because we are not able yet when happen struggles or challenges in our life to understand the whole picture, because we want immediately to solve all problems, and then we have the results. And it's very interesting when you mention about maturity, because we know all the lessons we are able to understand when problems happen in our life. Then we have to have more patience and waiting, and still have a good actions. And but most of time we don't understand immediately. We need more time to understand. And now it's very interesting for me to listen this word, the maturity. Then, because the understand come in the right time when you are able to understand.
Mhm.
It's very nice, very nice.
Yes, yes. But it's coming, right? And I think I can say for myself, I see, I see me growing, you know, and I imagine all of you see the same thing. Maybe it's not like we say overnight, but I can even think about, you know, short term, thinking about 1-2 years back, and see differences. And even now, like you said, you know, we started this work on psychology and spirituality every Fridays at 6 p.m. on the YouTube channel of the United States Spiritist Federation in TV Mansão do Caminho. And we've been working hard to put all of this together. It is not exactly, let's say, my formation, my field of expertise, but I've been, you know, kind of working with that since, you know, since I started also the Fraternal Conversation in the Spiritist Center, which has been decades, etc. But I have been studying a lot and going to a new field. And boy, it's been 3 months, I think 4 months that we actively started this project. I've been planning that for almost 2 years, but and I see a difference that I couldn't imagine that it was possible to, I don't know, to, it is not the learning per se in intellectual aspect, but the strength that it's giving me, spiritually speaking, you know, how it is opening my mind, my view even more. And so it's amazing. I think when we are capable of realizing that.
There is no good results without efforts, right?
Yes, yes. This week is going to be very nice. So you can listen to it at any time you want.
Yes,
But
it's in video available at what? Because I missed last Friday then.
yes, yes. Last Friday was basically